Want to hop on this morning and quickly talk about a topic that people often don't think about, and it's going to completely make sense once I explain it. And it's super, super important. And keeping the value of your home, particularly when you go to resell it, keeping it as high as possible. So, obviously, when you sell your home, you want the most money possible. Very often, homes today have basement suites. And this doesn't just go for detached homes and basement suites, this goes for all investment properties. And you hear the same old story from most owners or sellers that when I ask, can I get a copy of the tenancy agreement and what are you renting out your property for? Or what is your tenant paying in the basement? And they say, they've been great tenants. So we only charge them like $1,000 or $1,100. Now, couple things you need to take into consideration because this is a big mistake. Now, it's great. You got a big heart. You're doing your tenant a favor. Obviously, great thing. But what you got to take into consideration is when you came up with that number, it was probably market value at the time. And you probably paid maybe down the road. I'm just going to throw out figures just for example purposes, maybe $800,000 for your home. So you have your mortgage set at probably 2-3%. $800,000. You borrowed whatever you need to borrow, and you've rented out at market value at the time, 5 years down the road. And so it covers your mortgage. When you go to resell your home, though, the value is now 1.2 million, for example. That changes the payments at a higher interest rate. So a new buyer comes along, you decide to sell your home, you've got a basement suite and you sell it for 1.2 million, so 400,000 more than you paid, 50% more, and you've got tenants paying the same value from years ago because you like them. Well, these tenants mean nothing, no offense, but they mean very little to the people purchasing your home. And so the people purchasing your home depend on these high rents, either a blank slate with nobody living in their basement suite so that they can rent it out at today's market value for today's mortgage rates at today's value of the home. But you see it time and time again. I didn't up my rent each year because I liked my tenant. They're great tenants, which is fantastic for you, but it's terrible for resale value because now, say you're undercharging them $500 or $600 a month. That person who relies, the new buyer who relies on that income at the new price that they have to pay for your home that you didn't pay, they can no longer afford your home. So it devalues the price of your property or your investment property or your home that you live in. Huge. And we can't raise rental rates more than what is given, the standard given, which used to be the whatever inflation was per year. The last few years, and then COVID, you couldn't increase it at all. But home prices have continued going up, and so when you can increase every year 2 or 3%, you have to do it. It's not You're not doing yourself a favor. You might be doing your tenants a favor, and it might be okay with you at your given mortgage rate. But when you resell your property, you are greatly reducing the chances of getting a good offer if you're not getting top market value because the new owners cannot jack up the price to what they need it to be for their new mortgage. They have to adopt the old tenancy. They can also not just get rid of the tenants and get new tenants in at market value. So they have to adopt this market value. And people, the way homes are priced these days, people can only afford to get these mortgages dependent on what the value is of the tenancy agreement in place. So there's something I just wanted to, it comes up all the time for me. I wanted to explain it to you guys. It probably makes sense. I know it's a taboo subject, and I know I'm probably going to have a bunch of tenants messaging me saying it's greedy. But honestly, for the value of your home and for resale, if you want to save yourselves a bunch of headaches, it makes it much easier if you just keep increasing it every year to keep up with the increase in property values, the increase in mortgage rates. You'll be doing yourself a huge favor. That's it for me today. I do have some other videos coming up talking about some new policy changes, immigration, some new changes coming to immigrations and student permits into the country. We'll also give an update on interest rates and inflation. That was a little sticky this month, so we'll keep that for a future video. Have a fantastic Monday and a great rest of your week.